Hi and welcome back to my channel. This is just an update now on the concluding, hopefully, episode of this Fidelity Rad20. We now have a working radio. It's still in pieces, of course, as you can see, but it's working quite well now. And basically what has been done, which I did off camera because I don't have the skills of these guys who can do complicated fiddly electronic work and film it at the same time, and indeed some who can actually do so whilst not only recording it but actually going live. So it makes me appreciate the skills of these guys who can actually do that, who can actually do this work, like people like my mate Vince, who has a YouTube channel in which he repairs things on the blue mat and takes you through it stage by stage as he does it. And they're very intricate things sometimes, things like surface mount component work and things like that. And indeed Radio Cruncher on his channel, he actually does live streams doing these things whilst people are watching live and then interacting with them as well. And I'm just stunned at the skills of these guys because I know I can't do that. But I hopefully have managed to make some reasonably interesting videos about this little project. Now then, back to what we've done, right, or I've done, I should say. As expected, the reason it didn't work on the last video was because of this switch. I hope you're in shock because I can't tell. The switch, the waveband switch here, which always gives trouble. So I had to remove this dreaded pulley to get underneath to unsolder that and take it apart. What I'm pleased to say was it wasn't the one with the little ball bearing in it. I can't remember which radio that was in, but this one is rather more simple. It's just got the sliding contacts and strip springs behind them, which press them onto the contacts. And the only way I've found to actually get these to work properly is to dismantle them and thoroughly clean them up with a good old isopropyl. Now there's that one. This one here, this is the earphone socket. All I did was spray some isopropyl in and plugged the connector in there and out a few times to make sure that was making a good contact. I haven't touched the on-off and volume. Now, all the components in this are original. I haven't actually changed any components. So I'm surprised it still works with components that are over half a century old now. We've got this is both medium and long wave. I did do a check-up trim on the IF just to ensure it's acting at its optimum. One thing I did find, and this is probably what the original fault on the radio was, this is canted over. I can't really do much about that, but that meant I've changed the way it connects onto this so that the cord is held that way, otherwise it comes off the pulley. So I've just cut tiny slots in there and there and there so that this could go this way up and bring it closer to the board, which kept it from coming off the pulley. So that's what I've done there. That's got the electronics working. I actually added a smaller battery clip so I can use those small batteries. The alternative is to do what I've done with the other one, to convert it to run on AA's, and I do have a battery holder to do that. Now the other major part of the job, which is very boring to watch, so I haven't filmed it, was actually cleaning it up. Now I haven't been able to really thoroughly clean it. It seems to have been in a very dusty environment, perhaps a workshop or something, and this kind of black dust seems to have got inside it even. You can actually see it inside. Now, I wasn't too worried about cleaning the inside absolutely thoroughly because I don't want to damage either the dial plate or the label here. So I've done a wipe clean inside. On the outside, it was extremely difficult to clean. This black stuff was very much ingrained in it, and I still haven't got it perfect, but I figured that once I've reassembled it, I can still clean the outside quite easily once it's assembled. So the things I did, I tried different things. First of all, just detergent and water, didn't touch it hardly at all. It wouldn't take anything off much. So I tried isopropyl on its own, didn't do much. Strangely enough, I found that WD-40 turned out to be quite an effective cleaner. I think it's based on paraffin, what we would call paraffin here in the UK. I think that's what it's based on, this WD-40, but I'm not sure. And that actually seemed to help. Even then, it took a lot of rubbing with kitchen paper. So just to get this black off, I found a good thorough cleaning down with that and rubbing hard in all these slots, and then after that, cleaned it with a bit of isopropyl, and then finished off with soap and detergent, washing up liquid sort of thing, and that really got it clean enough to be sort of acceptable. Now the dial plate, this is quite an interesting one, quite a good technique to know, is actually you can use a piece of this paper, a tiny amount of toothpaste, and either water or saliva, and it will actually act as a good cleaning agent. It's slightly abrasive, but not enough to cause any scratching. You can actually polish it up with it. So I used toothpaste and water mainly to clean this dial plate off. So that's got that quite nice and acceptably clean. As I say, I don't want to risk damaging anything by being overzealous with it. And I figured the cleaning can always be carried on after it's reassembled. So the next stage really would be to try and assemble this back together. I'll just disconnect that battery. Now this has to slot in here obviously, but I have to get the tuning pointers into the dial plate in the correct position. So this will take a little bit of fiddling around. I'll just line up the circuit board with there, and then I can hopefully get this in. Now, having done a few of these, I'm still not sure, but get one side in, I think, and then get it into position. Yes, get that slotted into there, and then we've got to lift the side up. That wasn't in correctly when I received the radio, and this is the longer side, and slot it into place. Now I know you can't see what I'm doing, but basically I'm just lifting this up so it will slot into the dial plate. So it's got to slot into the circuit board here, into there, and then this is pushed fully forwards, I hope. I'll check around the front, and there are the two pointers. So that's got circuit board pretty well in, I think. I'm just checking this. It is actually in position. Yes, I don't think it goes in any further than that. I can see where it slots in, so yeah, that is correct. Now the I'm going to find that I've lost things again. What I want is the little knobs that go on top. There we are. So these again, I can pull them off and clean them up better at a later date. I haven't tried to clean these up much. I'll just put them in now just to try and show the thing working. I think cleaning things isn't great fun to watch, so I hope you're happy with that. Just getting this into position. Now I want to be careful that I'm not pushing against the board too much. I'd rather place this under the switch to brace it, push down, and it's not going on. Let's just line it up, I think. It doesn't want to go on. Oops. I can lose it, but I can't get it on there. Right, let's try again. So I know it's a very tight fit, and it was quite hard to get off. So get it lined up. It's going on now. Now again, I shall brace this under the switch so I'm not pushing against the circuit board, and push it down into place. And that's that one on. One of these I know was very tight. That's the volume one. Again, I'll place my finger under the board. It doesn't go on easily. I'll assume it's the wrong one and try the other one. Because I seem to remember the volume one wasn't too bad. Yeah, so that's the volume one on, and then the tuning one, which I think will be a bit stiff. Now, of course, it's never going to go on if I'm in the right position. There we go. So that's got those on. Now we can tuck that in there. This little door is quite fiddly to get right. It says press and slide on it, so I'm never quite sure which way around it's meant to go, but because it's got the arrow that way, I assume it goes like that. But yeah. Then this one goes lastly onto there. Again, the door flops inwards, so I tend to lift it up so that the door is held in position. And that little door is in there, and the whole thing is hopefully back together. And then the clip is in this side. The door is a little bit broken on this one, so I'm hoping that will be okay. And just push it in to make sure it's together, and then put these screws in. I think I put the two small ones in at the top first, and I've got to be very gentle with these really, because you're screwing into plastic. So what you want to do is to get the screw to follow its previous line rather than cut a new thread, and just do it till it begins to bite. This side there is a bit of a break in the handle, but I decided at this stage not to glue it. I'll just see how it goes. Again, just enough till it bites, and then finally this one. Now I don't want to again risk over tightening this one. Yes, there is a bit of a gap there, so I'm not quite sure why that is. Yeah, I will investigate that further in a minute, but just for now we'll see how we go. So I've adapted it to take the small battery, then we should hopefully have a working set.
They are hitting that bar and one that is public and transparent to create that sense of accountability.
Now you
Well,
probably have the inspector's report.
Advantage of intelligence over these short-term. People giving £20 a month, ensuring that those 30 the cap are answered and supported, and people's right.
Pretty well back together. As I say, this hasn't gone quite right in there, so I'll have to have a look at that. But I think that really concludes that we've actually now got a Rad20 in reasonable condition that actually works. And it's been quite easy, really. I mean, the only real faults, it's all running on original components. It was just this switch, which always has to be thoroughly cleaned up, and perhaps the earphone socket not making good contact. Other than that, yeah, remarkably good, considering it's over half a century old. And as I say, there aren't many of these around, so here's a rare view of two of them together. Okay, well, I hope you enjoyed that, and if you did, then please consider liking and subscribing, and I'll catch you in the next one, and bye for now.